the moderator for today's session. This is the fifth series of Research and Innovation webinar, School of Electrical Engineering. Welcome to all viewers to this webinar session brought to you live from School of Electrical Engineering, Faculty of Engineering, UTM Johor Bahru's Facebook, and thank you for taking out time to join us today. For your information, this webinar series are streaming live every Tuesday, 2:30 p.m. via our Facebook page. And for those who missed the live session, can watch the video again in our Facebook. Without further ado, I would like to invite Professor Dr. Muhammad Kamal Ibrahim to give a short opening, as well as introduce our guest speaker, Associate Professor IR TS Dr. Ahmad Athif Muhammad Fauzi. Over to you, Prof.
In this event, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and salam sejahtera to all viewers. Thank you once again to all viewers that follow this webinar through our FB Live School of Electrical Engineering. My name is Professor Muhammad Kamal Ibrahim. I'm the Associate Chair of Research and Academic Staff, School of Electrical Engineering, Universiti. Our topic today is entitled Empowering Malaysia's Artificial Intelligence and Robotics, that will be given by our Director of Center of Artificial Intelligence and Robotics, Associate Professor IR TS Dr. Athif Ahmad. Before Dr. Athif gives his presentation, I would like to introduce our speaker today. Associate Professor Dr. Ahmad Athif Muhammad Fauzi received the Bachelor Engineering in Computer Engineering, Master Engineering in Mechatronics and Automatic Control from Universiti Teknologi Malaysia, and Doctor Engineering in System Integration from Okayama University, Japan in 2004, 2006, and 2010 respectively. He was a visiting research fellow at Tokyo Institute of Technology from 2015 to 2017. He was a fellow of Academia Industry Talent Exchange Programs, CEO at Faculty Program 2.0, coached by Pro under Ericsson's Malaysia's Berhad in 2018. From March 2019 to date, he is the director of the Center of Artificial Intelligence and Robotics, Universiti Teknologi Malaysia. He is mainly engaged in the research fields of actuators, concentrated in the field of robotics, bio-inspired robotics, and biomedical application. He is a professional engineer, chartered engineer, and members of IEEE Robotics and Automation Society. Let me brief about his talk today. This talk will share some of the insight on automation and adaptability on how Malaysia can navigate the future of work using AI and robotics. Current project from CAIRO UTM members will be shared throughout the talks, and finally CAIRO UTM offers some of the training program to interested audience. Without any further ado, I would like to invite Associate Professor IRTS Dr. Ahmad Athif Muhammad Fauzi to give the presentation. Over to you, Dr. Athif.
Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and a very good afternoon. Thank you very much, Professor Muhammad Kamal, the Associate Chair for Research in the School of Electrical Engineering. Rabbi Shrahli Sadri wa Yassirli Amri Wahlul 'Uqdatan min lisani yafqahu qawli. Thank you very much for all the viewers to this School of Electrical Engineering webinars. And today I'll be sharing our topic of which is entitled Empowering Malaysia's AI and Robotics. And thank you also, Kappa, for the nice introduction. So a little bit brief about CAIRO. So CAIRO, okay, before that, this is the introduction that I will be presentation overview of the session today. The introduction of CAIRO, the topic of healthcare, smart manufacturing, field robotics, agriculture, and last but not least, the CAIRO training program. So a little bit about CAIRO. CAIRO was founded in 1997, so it's already 20 23 years old center, which was founded by our late Professor Dr. Marzuki Khalid and Professor Emeritus Dr. Shamsuddin Muhammad Amin. And we have two offices. The main office is in CAIRO KL in UTN Jalan Semara or Jalan Sultan Yahya Petra, and we have the other campus which is in CAIRO JB. And these are the list of members. I'm currently the director, the fourth director actually. Our first director is Arwah Professor Marzuki. Second director was Professor Datin Rubia. Our third director was Dr. Hazlina Slamat, and I'm the fourth director since 2019. And we have our five lecturers coming from JB and 4 from KL. These are my research areas. I'm focusing more on bio-inspired robotics as what was introduced by Prof. Kamal, and rehabilitation robotics as well as field robotics. And for my postgraduate students and also some of the undergraduate students, we are focusing more on these areas to be explored. Some are fundamentals, some are more on applied engineering. And we put ourselves together in our lab called as Actuator and Automation Lab, which is in V01, Faculty of Engineering. And so these are all the details project that we are currently doing, and I will be sharing some of this project later together with some of our CAIRO members project. Okay, now back to our center. Our center, CAIRO, was given as the Competence Center Award from MITI in 2019. Our vision is to be a leading center in AI and robotics for good of mankind. And the mission is to develop frontier intelligence system for industries. We want to promote and disseminate knowledge of AI to the students, engineers, as well as the society. And we want to also provide a state-of-art intelligence system to the society. So these are all the details of work that we do. And we are now focusing on field robots, agriculture, healthcare, and smart manufacturing. So these are a little bit information about our track record. We are now a HRDF certified training center, and at the end of this talk, I'll be sharing some of those training that we can offer to all of you. So related to the topic of Malaysia's AI and robotics situation, from McKinsey and Company, there is a research that has been conducted and showing that there are a very high automation potential by activity, which will be as part of the future trends. And currently, the study that was conducted in 2016 show that these are the amount of time spent by Malaysian, especially in processing data, collecting data, doing predictable physically doing predicting, as for example, in production workers. There are also unpredictable physical, like gardeners and so on, and up to interface expertise and also managers. So by having all this data, we can see that in 2020, it is expected that 50% of work time in Malaysia can be reduced, or maybe can be automation, can have automation potential by activity as high as 72% in certain areas, and as low as 13% in areas where more on management side involved. So about 60% of all occupations have at least 30% of constituent activities that can be automated, and we can see that we can see that the jobs are expected to be created, although there are some jobs which will be lost. Okay, so these are some of the findings from McKinsey and Company that we can refer to, where in 2030, so these are the baseline step up and occupation data which will be rising, for example, in the aging and healthcare, education, as well as some technologies in AI and robotics especially. So we would like to bring CAIRO as one of the competence center to suit in demand side and also in supply side. We can see that in demand side, current engineers, the available executives having their work, but maybe can be improved by having more on IR 4.0 readiness. So it involves reskilling and upskilling of the existing workforce. And currently, we are having a shortage of talent, especially in AI and robots. And from our supply side, we are from universities. We are now trying to improve our syllabus programs, and we want to see how our syllabus and programs will be geared toward IR 4.0 and how to cater those students or top talents who are not having their interest in engineering, for example, in manufacturing. So we are here to come together, work together with academia and industries, how to find the matching point in solving these issues. And in CAIRO, we are focusing now in these 4 areas of field, agriculture, healthcare, and smart manufacturing. And I would like to share some of this work, some of the works conducted by our members, which will be hopefully will be benefiting in both fundamentals and also in solving current issues in Malaysia. So I will start with healthcare as we are now still in this MCO extension. Um, so there are some areas that was explored by our members. 3 of our members, me, myself, Dr. Ibrahim, and Dr. Yong was involved in some of the COVID-related research. Dr. Ibrahim developed an AI portable temperature measurement. We see that now, if you want to enter any buildings or even UTM, we have to check our temperature. So by having an AI portable temperature measurement, it can ease the process of monitoring. And these are the details of the system where they use IR camera and also some other sensors to do some face detection, uh, giving some data. And this is actually not a permanent system. It can also be a portable one. So this is the example of the system that have been developed by Dr. Ibrahim. And as we all know, Dr. Yong involved in developing several robots, especially Masjid Kia 19 and Pak Saleh. So these are the robots that was, available during the pandemic. And already applied in Serdang, if I'm not mistaken. And this work is in collaboration with HUKM, where it is currently being tested and hopefully it can be marketed in the future. And these are the details of the structure of Machikia. And me, myself, I'm involved in developing transport ventilator system. This is something new, which we tried to explore. We started looking at the available open source model. And later on, we benchmarked with some of the available transport ventilator. And because we are not yet in the area, so we are collaborating with some of the experts from Hospital ATM and UITM, Hospitals UITM Sungai Buloh. And during that time in March, April, although we have restricted movement, we managed to visit some of the hospitals and discuss with some of the technicians which shared us. They are from Medivest, and some of the engineers coming out to help us, especially these alumni of UTM who are working in industries, and some of them are from Dyson. So we come up with this 3D printed structure, and this structure was actuated by a pneumatic cylinder. And from UTM, we come up with 2 versions, one which my team involved, and the other team from Dr. Fauzan. And our dean, Professor Dr. Rafiq, was managing the whole overall project, and we presented to the Health Ministry in April. And we were involved in this project, and currently, so I can play a little bit. Okay, so this is how our system works. So we have this cylinder to push this chamber, and then we have an exhaust and also, sorry, inhale and exhale, and these are displayed in the this UI, user interface. And currently we're working with a pneumatic powered ventilator. We have received 4 pieces of ventilators from HSA for us to do reverse engineering, and this is currently our pneumatic powered ventilator that we are currently working with. Okay, and we are also exploring how to improve this PV ventilator from HSA and putting the latest updated screen to ease the use of the system. Okay, and this is the current progress so far, and hopefully we can apply for some other grants to improve until the compliance and validation of the transport ventilator. So the second project that we are involved in is UVC Disinfection Robot, and both of these projects were supported by RMC, TNCPI of UTM, where they are looking for any potential research that can be helping the nation. So for me myself, I propose these 2 topics, and currently we are conducting, the second topic is related to UVC. It's a ray that can kill bacteria as well as virus. And we are now seeing that this application can be used especially in hospitals. And we have conducted some initial study on quantitative study, and now we are going for qualitative study on this adaptability of rays to kill this germs and virus. So we are now working together with HSA, and hopefully also with UMW in seeing this robot to be applied. So this is example of automation of the system where we can do mapping, we can ask the robot to move from one place to another without intervention of human. Okay, and another research which is related to healthcare, which was conducted by Dr. Yong, is to come up with this CR2 haptic device. And I think the student now have spin off the company and developed his company to promote and commercialize the product. Dr. Kang Siang. Okay, secondly, I would like to continue with some of our work in smart manufacturing. And again, Dr. Ibrahim developed a system called as computer vision defect inspection using a SaaS software, where the main features of this system is to detect and inspect abnormalities in some of the semiconductor products. So this is an example of the studies that they have conducted. They have to use AI to do some learning process, and later on it can be expedite the process of inspection. And Dr. Fauzi, Associate Professor Dr. Fauzi, is using a robotic arm to develop an adaptive robot and applying this reinforcement learning as also part of AI in the application in smart manufacturing. And Dr. Zul is developing a multi-camera with large-scale intelligent video analytics. So this is part of where AI can be used. We have many areas that can be applying this kind of technology, especially in logistics, where we have products to be delivered. And with using this system, we can arrange the time to move, pick, pack, and transport. We can manage the work process classification and connect it together with some of the warehouse drawings. We also have another spin-off from SKE by Dr. Athif, which is also working with RFIDs and also some of the sensors in logistic management. So this can be part of the spin-off from UTM in terms of smart manufacturing. From me, myself, I also involved in robotic arm. We developed a robotic arm using industrial UR arm. What we did was to control it using a virtual reality. So we developed two things. One is the small version, and the upper one is the upper version. Sorry, the bigger one is using the industrial robot. The second one is using a developed robot arm. So we try to use this two arm and see how the system can be mimicking our movement. And actually, what we want to show here is how telepresence system can be used. For example, in this COVID situation, last time in March, April, where we have difficulties in accessing certain areas. By having telepresence robot, we can use and control the robot as a manipulator with a distance. And we actually work together with Ericsson in showing how 5G can be used to ease the process, okay? Because we don't have any, we can have very minimum delay, and as if it is in real time. And we are also seeing that this technology can be used in healthcare, especially in doing some uh, troca. So for example, biopsy process where the doctors cannot assess the patient directly. So then the doctor can use the robot, control it, and we can get some result based on this telepresence system. And actually, there is one research by, a product from a current available product called as Da Vinci robot, which is using a system, the similar system, but then it is very specifically used for invasive surgery. So these are more like non-invasive ways. Okay, and in smart manufacturing, we also have our AGV from Dr. Yong. He's developing his AGV called as Zalfa. So we can see that these are the range of product available, and Machikia is also using some of this platform in moving from one place to another. So this is showing how from research we can explore into commercialization, and I think Dr. Yong is now trying to see how this robot can help the nation in healthcare related issues. Okay, so the third area that we are involved in is in this field robotics. Some of our research that involve in field robotics we try to mimic some of the animals and move it and try to use it later on in different environment. For example, this one is working in uh, as an amphibious system, so on land, and we are now developing a system that can also walk or maybe swim on the water surface, and we can use this as part of the robot that can do some exploration. But still, this is partly fundamental, and we want to explore more in seeing how this system can use a very lightweight system, safe, and can be used easily. So there are some analysis that we have to conduct, for example, finite element analysis, and also compare it with this experimental evaluation. And for others, we see that there are also potentials of field robots in inspection and also cleaning tanks. So part of our work is to uh, compare the available solutions of cleaning tank using manual cleaning. So we are trying to give alternative by having robots to do the work. And we are now having our production prototype, and so we are exploring some potential customers in cleaning tanks and do inspection. In the area of field robotics, we can see also work conducted by Dr. Fauzi for autonomous vehicle. Okay, so this is part of our field area that we use AI in detecting, using this camera, detecting the distance. We can see that now there are various cars. Tesla is using this kind of technology, and we want to see how locals can also develop certain design for maybe to work with Proton and so on. And Dr. Azrina is working with a retrofit electronic fuel injection system, where she already spin off a company, and currently the product has been sold to over 13 countries, and they're doing good with this system. And we can also, for those who are interested, can contact Dr. Azrina and see how this system can be used in your motorcycle. Dr. Zul developed his specialized in drone system by using drone, attach it with LiDAR sensors. We can now use both technology in detecting the assets. So there are some, this is a collaboration work with the Maxis E.co in assessing what are the available assets that they have. So because of the height is also part of hazard, now we can use drones to do this kind of monitoring. So the technology used is still AI, where we have to do learning in terms of detecting the data, and later on the sensors that can produce can be used together with the algorithm in doing this visualization and detection. So another work related to field is a collaborated work, me, Dr. Shafis, and Dr. Hazlina, where we are now trying to see how the congestion in CIQ between Johor Bahru and Singapore can be reduced. So we are collaborating with Selendang Bayu, a company which is managing the facility in CIQ, together in detecting cars, detecting cars, and also identifying the numbers so that we can do a proper management. And we are now using some of the available data visualization, such as Tableau, in detecting and predicting the congestion. And Dr. Hazlina is also working with an AI-based crowd simulator, which can be applied to CIQ. We can change the model, not using human. Currently, SESAC is using human. We can change it to cars so that we can identify, for example, on Monday morning, why the traffic is too congested, and why in Saturday or Sunday we can see that the cars are reduced. So how we can give more predictive analysis so that users can understand and can plan their traveling. Okay, and these are some of the deep learning AI algorithm that we use to detect cars, and this is the actual place that where we try to count how many cars within a certain time and how congested the CIQ are. Okay, so this is the agriculture is our fourth area. Again, Dr. Hazlina is working on an exoskeleton. I'm also working using exoskeleton, but Dr. Hazlina is using some of the actuators to assist the upper limb. We are targeting for palm oil actually harvesting, and not only for palm oil, we are also looking the potentials for manufacturing or industries which involves upper limb motion, and this hopefully can be reducing the muscular strain up to 22%. So as part of the agriculture, we are applying this for palm oil harvesting system. And also Dr. Uswa is currently doing an AI-based precision calf monitoring together with UPM in identifying the growth of the cows and some other data that we have to monitor. And Dr. Zul, again using the drones, developed few deep learning solutions for plant diagnostic, livestock counting, fruit counting, disaster monitoring. So, but I will be showing some of the examples in agriculture. So these are videos where they collaborated with Australia. So if you notice here, number is 0, showing, okay, this is too fast. Huh? I think our eyes couldn't count this fast. So now the system can count 24 cows within second. Okay, I can replay this video. Huh? Okay, again, so the current number is 0. Okay, you have to follow this line. Once this line touch the cow, then it will be counting directly. So now we have 24 cows, okay, roughly. Okay. So this is how AI can be used in monitoring. So we have to train first the images, the subject, and later on it can be counting directly. So this is also another examples of how AI are being used in agriculture. So we see uh, there are some area where we have, this is banana with bags and without bags. So when we have bags, it is cropped with fruits. Without bag, we have no fruits. So this can reduce the farmer in detecting how many um, trees that we have covered. Okay, by using drones, we can try to not solve. We can try to expedite the process of monitoring. Okay, so this is how AI can be used together with drones and edge computing. Also for asset monitoring, we can see these are gates, okay, and using drone we can see the gates are functioning well without any error or any disruption. So having a human to walk using this this phase may be quite tiring, So drones can help us, and using AI we can also get the data and record it directly. Okay, good work from Dr. Zul. Okay, so I think I am at the final part of the talk where we're going to share some of our training programs, and we are targeting for upskilling and reskilling, especially in the industry forward. We are having some of the introductory and awareness courses that we are targeting for SME companies, and this is the industry forward ecosystem where we see that the 9 pillars is focusing on the block, the blue block that is highlighted on the screen. What we are going to focus on is in these 3 blocks. Okay, so we're going to focus on how Internet of Things together with some sensory system can be used, and also communicating with clouds. As part of robotics is concerned, autonomous system and universal integration is very important. So we want to go on this area where we are specialized in, and number 3, the third area that we are going to focus is in cloud computing and big data specialization, where we have our experts in big data analytics, cloud computing, as well as AI, per se, artificial intelligence. And currently, the objective of our training program is to provide comprehensive training to the existing workforce, and we want to prepare for also for the future workforce. So currently, there are some calls under Penjana HRDF that we are trying to that we are collaborating with some few companies, and we are submitting it for ourselves. The second thing is to promote the development and use of robotics and AI technologies among Malaysian industries. And for this, we want to see how FDI and DDI we can bring in so that more talents can be developed for the future industries. Currently, we have these facilities in our lab in UTM CAIRO, UTM KL. We are working with 4 modules of production, assembly, and also drone delivery system together with ASRS. We call this lab as integrated IoT system with robots. These are the system where we can use the production module to develop a certain product based on PLA, ABS from 3D printing. We also have aluminium, some of the soft materials that we can craft using this CNC. Having this production module, the product can be sent over to the assembly module where we have few robots, Uni robot ADB, we have AdaptNet from Omron, and we have also a SCARA robot back here. And all of these systems are communicating each other using IoT. And we call this as integrated IoT. And the modules from production to the assembly are delivered using the drone delivery system. So this is a new area that we are exploring where most of the drones are controlled in open space, but then our drone delivery system is performing inside the, in the building area, where the system will be carrying out the fabricated products from production to the assembly module, or we can also send it to the ASRS, Automated Storing and Retrieval System, using the drone. This is to show how future technology can be applied, and currently we want to share some of the available system, and we put it together in 3 packages. Smart manufacturing package, where we have beginner, intermediate, and advanced. We also have AI package as part of our brick and butter in our center, where we are also putting it together in beginner, intermediate, and advanced. And last but not least, some of the work or in smart manufacturing is also available in this robotics package. For beginner, we have the basic 2D robotic programming, as well as the advance of sharing on how robots can be used in this manufacturing process. So there are also some theories that can be involved where for some of the companies, they want to know if I use this robot, how long is my ROI, return of investment. So that can also be included in the robotics package. We also organize some of the modules in a smaller, I mean, in a I can say a focus title within the 2-day duration. For example, in introduction to smart manufacturing, AI and application. We met together with the 9 pillars of IR Forward, and these are the trainers that we have from CAIRO. And as we are now going for, we already have this HRDF status. So this is enable us to work together with companies. They can come for free, and then this can be claimed directly after that from HRDF. So this is the data. Okay, today is 14th of July. The current statistic of new cases and number of cases of COVID, where COVID is actually happening around us within currently almost 3 to 4 months, and everything is currently changing us with the new norm of working and so on. So we are not yet there. So this is a study by Prof. Shul and also Prof. Naomi. I'm also involved roughly in this project. So they are predicting for us to have 0 case by end of July. And we have to pray so that the cases are going to be reduced, where also we are also having more recovered cases hopefully in the near future. And currently we are also calling for employees, for those who want to upskill and reskill their knowledge. So please try to contact our RO, Demi, and we are working currently to fund the process, okay, to provide the program together with Penjana HRDF. So don't miss this opportunity. And last but not least, there is a good wording that to remind me and you, when you cannot control what is happening. For example, we have COVID around us, we cannot control COVID. So we have to challenge ourselves to control the way that you have to, or we have to respond to what is happening, because that's where your power is. So that's where our power together in controlling what we can do. And from Surah Ali Imran verses 159, when we want to control within our capability, Faiza Azanta Fatawakkal Allah. We do our best, we put our tekad, we put our will, and inshallah we want to place the rest to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I think with that, thank you very much for your kind attention. So this is my team, our PhD, masters, and some of the researchers in A2 lab. Okay, pass to you, Prof. Kamal.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Athif. Okay, once again, I would like to thank Dr. Athif for sharing very good informative about
Prof.
the
Kamal?
artificial intelligence
Mungkin
and
Prof. Kamal
robotics.
muted.
So, okay. Good. So now I would like to open for any Q&A sessions related to the topic that we discussed just now. So just put in your
No, Prof.
comments, and then from there, we will take that as a Q&A. And then maybe before there is a question and answer of the Facebook Live. So I would like just to ask one question from you, Dr. Athif. Okay, can you comment about the readiness of our industry toward this AI and robotic system?
Hello.
Dr. Athif, do you hear me?
Tak dengar? Prof muted ke saya yang tak dengar? Sorry Prof, tak dengar lah Prof.
Yeah, okay, can you hear me now? Now I'm talking to you. Okay. Huh?
Okay. No, clear. Okay, sorry.
Okay, now can you listen? Can you hear?
Yes, okay.
Okay, all right. Once again, I would like to thank Dr. Athif for sharing the information about the artificial intelligence and robotics in Malaysia. And then now I would like to open for the question and answer session related to the topic. I mean, if you want to ask a question, you can write at the comments there. You can just post it to the comment of your FP. And then before we got any other questions, so maybe I want to ask you one question, Dr. Athif. Can you comment about the readiness of our industry toward artificial intelligence or robotic system in Malaysia? Can you comment on that?
All right.
The readiness.
Okay. Can you hear me, Prof? Boleh dengar?
Yeah. Can you comment about the readiness of our industry toward AI and robotic system?
Okay. For this AI and robotics in the current industry, there is one study that was conducted by MDTI, one of the company in this area. The study come out and saying that the current statistic shows that 4% of this SME are currently in this readiness level. So we have another 96% of companies which is not yet there. So I think by having some of the sharing awareness program, whether to the executive or maybe to the fellow engineers, it will be very good for them to explore or maybe to put in some of the investment in this I can say IR 4.0 readiness of the system. This is, I mean, because we have many areas in E&E, we have in food processing, we have in furniture. So maybe in E&E, there are many companies which is currently use automation, but for the other system, the other area, there are still way that the company can explore how automation can be using some of the process, and it can also be optimizing the workflow.
Okay, thank you, Doctor. There is one question from Hong Win Soon. Say that a very interesting talk. It's good to know what the lab is currently working on.
Yeah, thank you, Wong.
So maybe his question is
it
what the lab is currently working on this kind of work? Or is it in
Okay, so currently, as I have shared in the talk just now, we are working in these three areas of field robotics, biomimicry or bio-inspired, as well as health-based system and health robotics. Field robotics means we are going to do on search and rescue kind of thing, and some of the work which is related to agriculture, where some of my students is exploring in using exoskeleton also in this agriculture. And bio-inspired system is also one of the area that we are working on, learning how God created creatures like us, human beings, have different kind of muscles, movement, and so on. And one of my students now is working with bio-inspired eye. So that can be used as part of the system at the end of a manipulator. So this is one of the interesting work which is now being explored with my student. And he's already finished presenting for his master project, and hopefully he can publish in a good journal in the future.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Okay, maybe last question from me. Okay, in your opinion, what is the next big thing in the AI and robotics in Malaysia? What is the
Uh,
next big thing in AI?
Currently, as I have shown some of the examples of work that we are currently we are conducting in CAIRO, where we have Dr. Zul and some of the researchers which is exploring in agriculture. We have also in smart manufacturing, and also in area of healthcare. I think these are the three areas which is currently we try to focus and try to share. But the next big thing is in seeing how it can be applied in the society. Okay, because in Malaysia, these are the area that still in the exploration phase. Okay, and some of the companies are trying to collaborate with CAIRO and trying to see how things can be put in together as prototype. As I have shared, our some of the research are now in the phase of validation prototype. Some of the system are in the commercialization, like for example, Dr. Yong. The next big thing will be on seeing it applied in the society. So I think Malaysia is currently focusing also in agriculture. So how robotics can be used in agriculture and solving the workforce issue, for example.
Okay. All right. Thank you. So I think there is the last question from Dr. Muazza. How
Mm-hmm.
accurate it is the AI technology? What when it is implemented for robots or any application that has been developed by CAIRO?
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Muazza, for the question. Um, when we are talking about AI, AI involve a certain process. So we have to conduct first this learning process, and then before we go for this optimization process as well as integration. So I would like to take the example, for example, how Dr. Zul used AI in his drone technology. So first we have to uh, get the data, do some training. For example, in detecting cows, that's what I have just shown. So maybe it is cow, maybe it is a tree. So how we want to differentiate between these two, or maybe how to differentiate between cow and a sheep, for example. So it involves some accuracy, and this is as part of the algorithm that have to be used um, in determining the accuracy of the learning. And later on, we want to see the optimization as well as the integration with the edge computing. We see that also in the application of CIQ, where we want to detect or count the number of cars. So we have many cars, we have many different sizes, colors, with the proper learning using some of the fundamental algorithms that we have, as well as now we have many platforms to ease the process of doing AI. So these are some of the examples which is currently in the phase of commercialization. And I think, for example, based on Zul's work, it is currently a collaborative as well as commercialization process with Maxis, EDOCO, some of the big guns in telco companies for the asset monitoring. So actually, these are some of the examples, and hopefully we can explore more in other areas as well.
Okay, with that. Oh, there is another one from Chun Ho Liu. Is it
Yeah.
available for undergraduate students to join those projects?
Yes, thank you very much, Mr. Chun, for your question. Currently, we are opening CAIRO for our internship. Okay, some of the third year students, some of the fourth year students, they want to go for their internship. We open it for two offices in CAIRO JB and CAIRO KL. You can join in. Starting from July, we have some, I think more than 10 will be joining in JB. So these are some of the good time for you to collaborate and see how some of the work that you can explore. Secondly, CAIRO is also organizing we call as crash courses. Okay, crash courses. So these crash courses we already organized few during the pandemic duration last time. Dr. Hazrina delivered some of the tools for doing visualization and data analytics. And hopefully we can organize more session in the future for free for the students, especially for UTM students. And these are all open. Now we have this online session, which is a good platform where we can share knowledge and also some of the work together. And hopefully you can learn and explore more in the future. So please mail me if you are interested.
Okay, anyway, thank you very much. Okay, to all viewers. Once again, thank you very much to all viewers. Now I would like to pass over to Puan Sharifah Muhammad for the closing of this webinar series and highlight our next webinar series for Research and Innovation School of Electrical Engineering, Faculty of Engineering, University.
Thank you, Kamal.
Over to you, Puan Sherry.
Thank you, Prof. Kamal. And thank you also to our guest speaker, Associate Professor IRTS, Dr. Ahmad Athif, for the interesting topic just now. Thank you, Doctor. Viewers, we are at the end of our session today. Thank you all for watching this live telecast. And don't forget to like, comment, and share our Facebook and videos to your friends and colleagues. And please don't forget to join us next week, 21st of July, same time, to watch our next speaker, Professor Dr. Zulkarnain Abdul Malik, Director of Institute of High Voltage and High Current, EVAT UTM, on the topic Lightning, Safety and Emerging Dielectrics. Alright viewers, I will end this session with a quote. We are not given a good life or a bad life. We are given a life. It's up to us to make it good or bad. Okay, dolls, see you all next week. Stay safe, keep your distance, and stay tuned. Wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you. Kita keluar dari next.